Hi, my name's Della. Welcome back, and we're going to be going through a warm-up. Then I'm going to be teaching you guys some cheer poses. But first off, I want you guys to make sure you find a clear space around you so that you can move flexibly, and also if you have water by your side as well, that will be helpful. So let's get into the video. We're going to start with a 5-minute warm-up. So I want you guys to do heel flicks for 30 seconds. Heel flicks look like this if anybody isn't familiar. So as I was doing, my ankle is touching the back of my leg. It isn't down here, it's all the way up. So we're going to be doing that for 30 seconds. So from the count of 3, 2, 1, 30, 29, 28. I want everyone to follow along counting as well. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now we've got heel flicks done. That's our first pose raiser. I want you guys to do a light jog on the spot. We're going to do this for 10 seconds. So just follow with me. Make sure you guys are counting at home as well. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you guys can take a quick 5-second break just to cool off. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we've shaken out. Now we're going to get into stretches. So I want you guys to follow after me. This is your left hand, this is your right hand. And I want you guys to place that behind your head and carry your left hand over, just holding your arm just like this. So your elbow should be pointing up and your left hand should hold it over your head. You should feel the stretch in your arm. So for 10 seconds we're going to hold that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now our warm-up's done. We're going to get into part 1 of the video. So now we're going to get into some poses. So this is part 1 of the routine, part 1 of the video. So I just want you guys to follow along. Make sure you have a clear space, water by your side, anything that's necessary to make sure you guys are comfortable, maybe a mat, anything that will make sure you guys are also safe. So we're going to get straight into the video, and I'm just going to introduce some new poses, some poses that we do when we're flying and when we're doing stunts. So the first one I would like you guys to do is called the lib. This is also short for liberty, so I just want you guys to follow along. So firstly, everyone should be in a clean position. So this means that your feet are together and your hands are by your side. So your hands are by your side, not on your thighs, by your side. This is what clean should look like. And you guys should be familiar with this in recent videos. So clean, this makes sure that you guys are also balanced, and it shows that you're ready for the stunt to begin. So clean, and we're going to move out. Our left leg is going to keep balanced. So we're just going to make sure that this one is the one that stays on the ground. And our right foot is going to be placed just beside our knee. So my feet are pointing down, my toes are pointing to the ground, and my leg is in a tabletop position and my knees pointing out. So now I'm in the first position that will get me to my lib, my liberty. So this is what it should look like. My hands are also by my side, so they're in a tight fist, and I've created an E position. This E position down by my side. So I'm going to run through that again. My left leg on the ground, my right foot up, and my toes pointing to the ground. Now the last part I want you guys to incorporate into liberty is a high V. So high V looks just like this. And this is what liberty should look like. So you guys should mirror this. Now, one thing I want you guys to focus on is balance. So with these poses, and you guys need to make sure your balance is good. So in order to do that, focus on a still position, a still spot. And that's how your balance will be like very good, basically. So now we're going to move out into the second pose. So I want you guys to just keep following along, make sure your space is also clear, and just keep having fun. So now this is the second pose, and we're going to move out into arabesque. So that's the name of the pose, and I just want you guys to follow along. So remember I said we start in clean. That gives you guys a nice clean start, and it shows that you're prepared. So we're in clean, and what we're going to do is I'm going to show you from the side angle, and we move out. We're still in clean, I'm just on a side view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my left foot on the ground. My left foot is the one that's going to keep me balanced, and my right foot, as you guys can see, is going to go up slightly behind me. So that's what arabesque is going to look like to begin with. So we're just going to start from clean, and then we're going to move our right foot behind me. So now I look like I'm in a 90-degree angle. So you should see that angle. Now, remembering guys, if you guys are struggling with your balance, make sure you focus on one point that's still, and your balance will be perfect. So I'm going to show you that again, making sure that our fists are in a tight, our hands are in a tight fist, and we've still got that E position. This is also good for point scoring when you guys are going through competitions, making sure that you have your E perfect. So we're moving out into our 90-degree angle, and that's the first position that our arabesque should look like. Now we're going to take it to the second level, and we're going to move back down into clean, and I'm going to show you. So you move up into your 90-degree angle, and then now your hands move up into high V, and that's what arabesque should look like. So in a 90-degree angle, my left leg is on the ground, and I'm in a high V, and that's what arabesque should look like. So the first pose, I'm just going to go through it really quickly so that you guys remember, is lib. So it's called liberty. So as I said, left foot on the ground, right foot up, toes pointed down, and we're in high V. That's liberty. The second one is called arabesque, and we're in our clean position, and we move out into our 90-degree angle, and we're in our high V. That's arabesque. So for the third pose, we're going to move into something called a heel stretch. It's similar to arabesque, however, we're not in 90-degree angle anymore. So clean, now we're going to move to our heel stretch. Clean gives us a nice balance, as I said. Left foot is still on the ground, and my right foot is the one that's going to move me up into my heel stretch. So I'm going to make my foot go up just above me. So now my foot is straight, my left leg is still on the ground. My hands are still down by my side, making sure I've got the perfect E. So clean, my right foot goes up, and that's the first part that I'm going to do in order to get to my heel stretch. I'm going to show you the second part, which is we're going to move from clean up into the first part, and what I now need to do is make sure my hand is at the bottom of my foot, and I've moved up and I'm straight. And that's the second part of my heel stretch. I'm just going to show you guys again, making sure we're in clean, making sure you guys keep your balance and focus on that one still point. If you notice, I'm always looking straight at a still point. If it's moving, then you're going to most likely be moving. So make sure your point is still. So we're in clean, and we're going to move up into, my right foot is going to move up. I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm going to put it down beneath the bottom of my foot, and I'm going to move up as well as my left hand into a heel stretch. And that's what it should look like. So, one more time, just so that you guys can see. Up into heel stretch. The last one, which is called a scale. So it's a bit different from heel stretch, because although my foot is still in this position, my hand makes the difference. So I'm going to show you guys again from clean. So making sure that I'm ready for my pose, I'm in clean. Now I'm going to move out. My right foot is the one that's going to move out. My left leg is the one that's going to balance me. My hands are still by my side, and I'm making sure that I'm in a clean position. So I'm going to move out my right foot. I'm going to put it just slightly in eye level. So that's where it should be. And I'm balancing because I'm looking at a still object. So move out from clean. Put your right leg up, your hands are by your side in a tight fist. I'm just going to show you guys that again. So that's the first position. The second position will be incorporated with my hand, and that's how we'll complete the scale pose. So we're in clean, and we're going to move our right leg up, keeping our left leg on the ground so that we're balanced. So making sure our hands are in a tight fist, and we've got the perfect E. So I'm by my side, and I'm going to move my right leg up, and that's the first motion. The second motion is to incorporate my hands. So my right leg's up, and I'm going to place my right hand just before my ankle. So this is what it should look like. My right hand's just before my ankle, just as I'm doing. Now I'm going to use my left hand to punch into the sky, and that's going to create a V shape. So although this V isn't incorporated with it, this one is. So clean, and I'm going to move my right leg up, and I'm going to incorporate my right hand, and I'm going to just put it just before my ankle. So clean, and I'm going to move up, right foot up, right hand on just before my ankle, and left hand in a V. And that's what scale should look like. Now we're going to run through all the poses all over again, so that you guys are clear and have a good understanding of all the poses. So the first pose we did was lib, so liberty. Clean, our left leg's on the ground, right leg's up, toes pointing to the ground. I'm in a high V. Got the perfect E, and that's what lib should look like, also known as liberty. Making sure I'm also in tabletop. Now this is called arabesque, and making sure that I've turned but I'm still in clean. I'm on the side view but I'm still in clean. So now I'm going to move my right leg just behind me slightly, so I'm in a 90-degree angle, as you guys saw. So my arms go up and my right leg goes up as well. So that's now a 90-degree angle, as you guys can see. I'm going to also move my arms into high V, so making sure I'm punching the sky, and that's what arabesque should look like. Just going to do that for you guys. So clean, my right leg moves up into a 90-degree angle, and my arms are in high V, and that's arabesque. Now we're going to go into the heel stretch, which is back into my clean position, and I'm going to move my left leg stays on the ground, and my right leg goes up, and I'm in a heel stretch. The last one for you guys is going to be the scale. So we're in clean, a bit like heel stretch. Instead, my hand is going to be just before my ankle. So I'm in clean, and I move up, my hand's just before my ankle, and I'm in a V. And that's what scale should look like. Now I've run through all of the motions with you guys, and I've run through all of the poses. So you guys should now try that out. Make sure you're practicing and you keep going over and over it, and you guys will nail it in no time. So now we're going to use the cheer poses and the flying positions that we learned earlier, and we're going to incorporate it into a stunt. So this stunt is called the ball stunt. So what it is that someone, so whoever it is, a family, friend, anyone, is in a stunt, is in a position on the floor, and is in a ball. So in the next couple of minutes, as I'm finished talking, I'll get two of my colleagues who are also senior coaches to demonstrate what it should look like exactly. So if you guys have any friend, family, next door, neighbor, anyone around with you, you can use them also to practice this stunt. So we're going to be using liberty. So as I taught you guys, clean and toes pointing down into a high V. So that's what liberty should look like. It's also known as lib. This will be used in the ball stunt. It will all become clear in a few moments. Then we're also going to move out into arabesque. Remember, clean. So I'm on a side position, and we're going to be moving out into a T, and then move out into our 90-degree angle, and that's what arabesque should look like. So all of this is going to be performed in a ball. So as I said, one person is going to be on the floor, and another person is going to be in those two poses that I've showed you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my two colleagues who also are senior coaches, as I told you. So here we have Elise. Just wave at them. She's also going to be in the later series. And we have Sophia, who you've also seen already. So without further ado, I want Sophia. So let's say Sophia is your neighbor. Sophia is going to be our demonstrator. So she's going to be in the ball position. So right now she's in clean, and I want her to get on the ground, just kneel down as I'm doing. Just copy me, mirror me, thank you. And notice her arms are straight, her feet are tucked in together, and her back's in this position. So now she's in the perfect position, ready to get in a ball. So I want her to just relax her feet and place them on the ground. So now her knees are on the ground, her head's still tucked in, her head's still facing down, and her hands are still on the ground. Now I want her to place them slightly in front of her, and she's going to place her hands perfect. Her hands are on the ground. I want her to place her bum slightly down. Perfect. So before we incorporate Elise into this stunt, I want you guys to take note. Make sure that when your neighbor, your family, or your friend steps on your back, they don't break your spine. So they aren't standing on your back here, they're standing on your lower back right here. Their feet should be in a position where it's not hurting you. So Sophia just turned for me, thank you very much. So it should be on your lower back right here, right? So one foot should be there and the other should be there. Cool. Now we're going to incorporate Elise. So this is our neighbor, our family, or our friend. So what I want her to do, she's in her clean position, she's ready, she's upright, she looks professional, everything's ready. The stunt is about to go. So what I want her to do is she's going to keep her left foot on the ground, and she's just going to place her right foot on Sophia's lower back. So just like that. So now she's in a clean, nice tabletop position. Her hands are still by her side and her back straight. So this is the perfect stunt. So this is how you should be looking right now. This is what you should mirror. So before we get into it, I want you guys to just take your foot back down again and make sure that your foot is on your lower back. So everyone should be making sure their foot's on their lower back. Now we're going to do it one more time. Just put your foot up. Perfect. Now if you do need a support, if there is a chance that you guys could fall, what you might want to do is incorporate a backstop. So a backstop just makes sure that I have support, and it makes sure that I have her securely. So what I would do is I would hold her hips really tightly just as she moves out into picking up her second foot, which is the left foot, onto Sophia's lower back. So I'm working as a backstop right now, and I'm just going to hold securely her hips, and Elise is going to hold on to my wrists. So I'm holding her hips and she's holding my wrists. So that means we're secure and we're tight. So this stunt is ready to go, and what's going to happen is she's going to move her left foot up onto Sophia's lower back. She's going to dip first, just so that she has some, there we go, dip. Everyone should be dipping at this point, and she's going to move her left foot up, just like so. Now, that's exactly how it should look. I have her securely, she has me securely. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now everyone just moves slowly back down, her left foot first, slowly, and back down into clean. That's the first motion that I want you guys to make sure you have. Now Sophia's still in her perfect ball. Making sure that she doesn't come out of the ball is how Elise here, how your family or your friend will not drop. So Sophia needs to make sure, though she's still on the ground, that she's in her perfect ball. So her head's still tucked in and her back is still on the ground. She's not lifted up and she's in a perfect position. So now we're going to try it again. I want you guys to making sure that you're paying attention, making sure that you're following every step. So first, Elise is in clean. And the backstop, Elise is in clean. Perfect. This shows that you're prepared, you're ready, and the stunt is about to happen. So clean. And the backstop, as I said, and I'm going to make sure I have my hands securely on her hips. So my hands are going to be placed like this on her hips. My fingers are together and my thumb is just separate. So I should create this type of position. It's almost like wings. I'm going to place that on her hips. And then she's going to place her hands on my wrist. Just as I said before, making sure her left foot is on the ground and her right foot is placed on Sophia's back. So now she has the perfect tabletop position and her left foot is keeping her balance. Then she's going to dip and she's going to move her left foot up and she's going to hold that, and that's the perfect position. Thank you. And now Elise is going to move out into high V, and that's the next position to make sure that she's completed the stunt. So this is what a ball stunt should look like. If you want to make it harder, I'm going to show you guys how. So now we're going to move slightly down, slowly down, hands back on my wrist, into clean. Perfect. Now we're going to swap them over, and Sophia's going to move up where Elise is, and Elise is going to move down where Sophia is, just so that your person isn't, you know, getting injured. Cool. So now Sophia's in perfect clean, and Elise has moved down on the ground and she's in the perfect ball. So this is what it should look like still. Sophia's in clean, Elise is in the perfect ball. Make sure you guys are mirroring that, keep having fun and keep tuning in, listening. Cool. So now we're moving with the same position. My hands are in the wings and they're going to hold Sophia securely. We're just going to do exactly what Elise done, but this time we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. So I want you guys to make sure that you've got your flyer, you've got your friend, you've gripped them really well, really tight on their hips. They've got your wrist for extra security. And then we're going to move their right leg up onto the lower back of your friend, of your stuntman. So she's going to dip and she's going to move up. Now she's in the perfect position, ready to undergo what's next. So now she's going to move her left leg up into a lib position. And she's going to move out into high V. And that's what the perfect lib should look like. So she's in tabletop position and she's in a high V. She's going to move down slowly and we're going to take it back down. Her left leg is going to be placed on the ground first. She's going to bend and she's going to go into clean. Now that's exactly what your ball stunt should look like. Thank you very much, Elise. Thank you very much, Sophia. And this is exactly what you guys should be mirroring at home, making sure that you're having loads of fun, keep practicing and keep going. Now we're going to get into a cool down. So you guys be ready for a challenge and I'll see you in the cool down. So now we're going to get into a cool down so you guys can relax your muscles, so you're not tense. So making sure you've got a clear space, you guys can have a sip of water if you need to as well. But let's just get straight into the cool down. So we're just going to go for 5 minutes, make sure that you relax your muscles and you're no longer tense. So the first exercise that I want you guys to do is to get your wrists and just take them in a circular motion for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we've done that, you can shake out, shake out. I want you guys to do the same thing with your head. So making sure that you get your head in a nice rotation, a circular rotation for 10 seconds. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake out, shake out, shake out. So now we've done 2 cool downs. I want you guys to work on your lower part, so your feet, and I'm just going to take you through some circular motions with your feet as well. So we're going to do our right foot first for 10 seconds, circular motion. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to do the next foot, so 10 seconds as well, circular motion. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the last stretch I want you guys to do is find a seat. So if you guys have a mat, that would be helpful. And I want you guys to put your feet in just in a V position, separated, slightly apart, and I want you guys to feel the stretch in your legs. So you guys are going to be pushing out and touching your toes. So if you can't touch your toes, however, what I want you to do is place your hands on the ground. So I want you to place your hands on the ground and move out into the stretch. However, if you can touch your toes, then that's perfect, and we can do that together. So touching our toes for 10 seconds. I want you guys to push out and hold it there and feel the stretch in your leg. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to get up slowly, making sure that all our muscles are relaxed. Now we're going to do one more stretch, one more that will work on our arms. So I want you guys to place your arms right behind your head. We've done this in the warm-up, so just so that our arms are also stretched out. So I want you guys to place your right arm first, so your elbows pointing up to the sky and our hand is behind our back. You're going to get your left hand and place it over your elbow and just pull slightly for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You guys should feel a stretch in your lower arm. We're going to do it again on the other side for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. I want you guys to keep on continuing to interact with Palace for Life's series and making sure you guys are getting the most out of it as possible. Keep up the good work and making sure you guys are paying attention, making sure you guys are having as much fun as possible. Thank you for tuning in.